Let's move on now to the Daily Telegraph, because all of the tabloids tomorrow are covering one story and one story only on the front of the paper. Headline reads, ScoMo's small target strategy. He's a self-described bulldozer, but Prime Minister Scott Morrison yesterday steamrolled a young soccer player in Tasmania, accidentally, we should say, crash tackling an under-8s player in an effort that would have made his beloved Sharks players proud. Mr Morrison appeared to trip and lose his footing during the session with the Devonport strikers before collecting the little one as he fell to the ground, landing on the little one. Luckily, they both saw the funny side of the encounter and they shared a high five. Look, I think we've seen it so many times, but we have to see it one more time for some context. Let's take a look at ScoMo trying his hand at some crash tackles in Tasmania. Now, gang, that all looks like it was done in very good faith. It was a complete accident. But this actually rang some reminder bells in my head this afternoon where I saw this, because we've definitely seen this before, but I don't think what happened in the UK with Boris Johnson was an accident. It's all the colour and movement of an election campaign, right, Caleb? Like, I think everyone sort of thought, finally, we've got something exciting that isn't people screaming at each other to talk about when it comes to the final hours of the election campaign.
This was the best moment of the election campaign for mine, honestly. I mean, in the newsroom today, I saw this video goes up on Twitter and I said, yeah, you seen this? And everyone's gathering around and we're all laughing our bums off because it was just such a funny moment. And look, the roar that you heard there in that footage when the PM crash tackles that kid's never been roared at like that before on the football field, I'm sure. He would have loved it. And he has a story to tell. He can say that 4 days or 3 days before the federal election in 2022, he got crash tackled by the Prime Minister. Yeah. He can dine out on that one for the rest of his life. It was a lovely moment of levity to have.
And don't you think, Lisa, it was also a great moment of this completely unscripted frivolity? Thank the heavens that we finally had them looking human.
Yeah, look, we've all covered election campaigns and a lot of it can be those staged photo ops where, you know, it's point the camera, shoot, yawn, move on to the next one. And this one was sheer accident, sheer fluke for the Prime Minister when it comes to great publicity. And as Caleb said, that boy will now dine out on this for the rest of his life. All of the front pages in front of us tonight should be framed and put up on his bedroom wall, because it's one of those moments that he'll never forget. But look, honestly, compare that to you've got Albanese who's walking away from press conferences. Which one would you rather? The Prime Minister who's accidentally bowled over a kid and cradled him and picked him up? I think every mum went, oh, at least he grabbed him and tried to protect him. Or you've got Albanese scooting off to the nearest door.
Speaking of bowling over, it was nearly as good as that ball that John Howard bowled down the pitch once. We all remember that moment. Yes. And of course, we saw the other day Scott Morrison kicking a football, and he actually did a bloody good kick, I have to say. I think he seems to be quite adept at sport.
Yeah, definitely. I think his hamstrings.
But you think about it, in these election campaigns.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jenna, I was going to say these election campaigns, you see them out there all the time doing all manner of crazy things. We've seen the hairdresser, we've seen the soldering, we've seen hard hats. Any number of things can go wrong. So when you think about what could go wrong, this one actually went okay.
Yeah, indeed.